You know, Japanese is very hard to translate. There are a lot of nuances in the language, so when announcements are made, it can be tricky to get it right, particularly if you rely solely on Google Translate. When I saw the initial reports about the Canon DSLR ending, I was hoping for a formal news release in English, but it looks like we'll wait for that. Fortunately, some Japanese speakers on Twitter have come to the rescue. Suffice to say, it's too soon to announce the death of DSLRs, but the end is in sight. It's never good to predict a death. Even when you get it right, you'll upset somebody. Many people still love their DSLRs and will never change. Just like some people love film cameras, but for others, it'll signal a time to move on. For now, we have a better translation of what Fujio Mitarai had to say in his interview with Yomiuri, if that's how you pronounce it, one of the 5 major newspapers in Japan. Let's look into that. Hi, I'm Tom and welcome to Rumour. Canon CEO Fujio Mitarai made some important announcements in his end-of-the-year interview with Yomiuri. With regard to DSLR cameras, he says, and this is a direct translation, that they will discontinue production and development of the flagship DSLR model in several years to focus entirely on mirrorless. This seems to refer specifically to the 1DX, as it goes on to say that the 1DX Mark III, which was released in 2020, will be the de facto final DSLR flagship model. He then goes on to say they will continue producing low to mid-level DSLRs while there's still enough demand overseas. And in another paragraph, he says they'll be ending R&D for all DSLR models and move to all mirrorless in a few years. This is the first time Canon have officially said this, and although it's been expected for some time, it's an important announcement that confirms what most rumour sites have been saying. We can take this as confirmation that most of the current lineup as we know it is dead from a development point of view, and that they're actively working on the next mirrorless flagships and replacements for the rest of the DSR lineup. But the parts that say in a few years, and also while there's enough demand overseas, are a bit confusing. The translation was done by Japanese speakers, so it's not an online translation. However, there might have been some paraphrasing or reader interpretation, but it seems clear this is a major decision by Canon. It might not be the end, but it's certainly the beginning of the end for Canon DSLRs. What I read into this is that the R&D is ended on DSLRs, but production will continue as long as there's sufficient demand, and that Canon will look at this model by model until such times as they replace all the ongoing models with their mirrorless equivalents. The fact that they've specifically called out the 1DX Mark III suggests it will be the next transition, and that transition of the flagship signifies the point at which R&D on DSLRs has ended. So any hopes of the 5D Mark V, or a new 90D, or a new M-series camera can be forgotten. Also, the reference to overseas demand may mean that the home Japanese market will see mirrorless versions before DSLR production actually ends. The future is here, and the future is mirrorless. I hope you all enjoyed the holidays. I certainly did, although like many of you it was curtailed a bit due to Omicron. As it's been nearly 2 weeks since my last video, I'd like to thank my subscribers for sticking with me, and welcome all the new subscribers. The channel certainly had a boost recently. I'd like to ask that you stick with me for a little channel chatter. I've got a few ideas for videos, but I'm still fairly new to this, and I do worry about each idea, that it might not be good enough. I've been lucky with some of my latest videos that have done well in terms of views and subscribers, but it makes me worry that I might disappoint you with the next one, with a video that bombs or doesn't take off. However, after discussion with my partner Laura, I've decided to just keep going with the ideas I have, for better or worse. For instance, it's been a while since I did a walkabout video, which I enjoy making, but they never do well for views or subscribers. I've even got footage I've abandoned because I thought it wouldn't be interesting enough. However, I've decided to pick up one of those projects and run with it in the new year, as well as some how-tos that I've been gathering content for. It's always a worry how these videos might work out, but then with new people getting cameras for their Christmas, maybe this is a good time to be posting that type of content. And I'm always surprised by the amount of camera owners posting on online forums that don't know some of the basics about the camera they've just bought. So hopefully I can help them. So far, a large amount of this channel, for me at least, has been a learning experience, which I enjoy immensely. And if you want to continue that experience with me, you're most welcome. Now why not try this video next, which YouTube thinks will interest you, or perhaps this one might suit you better. And thanks for watching, Rumour has it. I hope you'll be back soon.